Yo, what's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, March 21st, and tomorrow is the conclusion of the two-day Fed meeting. And right now, the market is expecting a 25 basis point hike. Look, I gotta tell you that there could be a surprise on the bullish side, and by that I mean I think Fed Fund futures right now, they're pricing in an 86% chance of a 25 basis point hike. And that's probably what's going to happen. And that's, I guess, one thing the Powell Fed has shown itself to be is a Fed that just follows whatever the market tells them to do. Okay? These are a bunch of people who don't understand their role, their function as monopolists in price setting. So 86% chance, I'm sure they're all looking at that and they're saying, hey, that's what everybody expects, so that's what we should do. However, there's still a 14% chance that there's going to be no rate increase. And I wouldn't say that is like a small figure. Like there's a 0% chance right now based on where Fed Fund futures are trading for a 50 basis point. That's not going to happen. 50 basis points is not going to happen. But if Powell manages to find some balls, he might go with the no rate hike. And if he goes with the no rate hike, I'm telling you right now, a bunch of things are going to happen. First of all, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I definitely sent it out to my subscribers on Monday that gold was going to pull back from $2,000 an ounce. That was a sale up there. I said to a friend of mine, take profits. He's like, Mike, really take profits? That's like a bold prediction. And here we are. I think we're down to 1940 or something like that. But I think the first thing I'm going to do tomorrow is put on a big gold position, because I got a sneaking suspicion that he might go with that 14% probability of a no rate hike. And even if he doesn't, I don't think the consequences of a 25 basis point rate hike is going to be that big, to be honest with you. The other thing is, if you are a Forex trader, if he goes with no rate hike, the dollar is going to really, really drop. Now, I have kind of long dollar positions right now, and I'm making money on them, but I think in the morning I'm going to cover those positions. I don't think I'm going to reverse them. The only position I'm going to get in, I think, tomorrow morning, which I think is a really good opportunity because of the pullback, is to get long gold. And I'll wait to see what happens with the dollar. So, hey, I got some great news for you. Guess who's coming on the podcast next week? Professor Randy Ray, from the Levy Institute, MMT, one of the original founders. He wrote the book, Modern Money, which Warren Mosler backed that book, and he's going to be on next Friday. So I was very, very happy. I've known Randy for 20 years, as much as I've known Mosler. I don't really talk to him much on at all, really. And I just emailed him, and he's like, sure, Mike, I'll definitely come on. So that ought to be good. And the main question I want to ask when Randy comes on is do you think MMT has really made any progress at the policy level? And I'm not saying that just to be, controversial or to be, whatever. I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't really see it at the policy level, as an implementation or not an I always say it's not policy, but as an understanding of the capabilities of a country that has a sovereign currency. I just don't see it. I mean, we're having this freaking now, debate about the debt ceiling, and we're having about this arguments about, we got to cut Social Security, we got to make it secure, we got to tax rich people that pay for Medicare. Like, that's not where the dollars come from. That's not where the dollars come from. So anyway, I'm going to ask him that question. I'm going to ask him in a sincere way. It's not a gotcha question. It's not going to be a trap. It's just like, I've been in this MMT paradigm now. And I've said this before. Many of you who just know me recently, you don't know this. Like, I was one of the first original guests when CNBC introduced Squawk Box in whatever it was, 1995, 1996. I was one of the first original guests who used to appear on an original basis. And my view of things at that time, you would not be able to distinguish me from Peter Schiff. It was like, we're borrowing from China, we're going bankrupt, the dollar's going to collapse, there's going to be hyperinflation, all of the things he says right now, which is completely ridiculous. As a matter of fact, and I told this story many times on my videos. He actually he cold called me one day out of nowhere. I don't know where he found my number. This was in maybe 2001, 2002. He cold called me. He was living in California at the time. He said, "Man, I never heard somebody on TV." At that time, he was not famous at all like he is right now, very famous. But famous for all the wrong things, I might say. But at that time, he said, "I never heard anybody say things like that. Would you want to come and work with me to be kind of like a representative in the media?" I was like, I don't know. That was not the thing for me. Anyway, that didn't work out. And we all know how it ended up, that with a split between it's not about me hating him or something like that. I don't suffer fools. And even if they have built big reputations, like cottage industries. You look at somebody ask me, "Hey, why don't you bring on Jim Rogers?" I could tell you stories about Jim Rogers, man. This guy, he used to be an idol of mine. For so many years, during the 80s and the 90s when I was a trader on different exchanges. And then when I finally met Jim Rogers, when I became a contributor at Fox News back in permanently, when I was back, I guess it was in 2002 or 2003, I just saw what a nasty prick this guy was. I'm sorry, but he treated people so lousy. And these were people who were booking his cars to bring him to the studio or doing his makeup or whatever. I don't buy into that. I do not, and I don't like people who think they are, at a level above regular people who are just doing their jobs and just doing their work. So I thought he was a prick. I'm sorry. And I do not like him at all. And it's amazing that he's still alive. He sounds like, when I see him, it sounds like he has trouble breathing. I don't know how old he is. He said he was going to move to China. He moved to China, and then now he moved to Singapore because China was so polluted. So he needed to have a better situation. So the whole thing is a hypocrisy. I think it's a hypocrisy of a major order. But here, I'm happy to get Randall Wray. We'll probably get Warren Mosler. He hasn't not agreed. We were close friends. Then we kind of had a thing that happened. And we didn't speak for a while, but I think we're friends. And I told him I want to talk about policy. And we'll see what happens. But anyway, regarding tomorrow, there could be some fireworks, folks, in a positive way. if Powell goes, if he finds some balls, remember Scarface? There's only one thing in life that gives orders, and that's balls. And like if he finds some balls and says, okay, well, it's an 85% probability based on Fed Fund futures that I got to raise this by 25%, but I'm going to go, fuck it, man. I'm doing 25 basis points. I'm sorry, I screwed it up. There's an 85% chance of a 25 basis point hike. And if he says, fuck it, I'm going to do nothing. Wow, like that. I don't expect it. But the fact that the market is pricing in a 14%, and if that happens, let me tell you exactly what's going to happen. Gold is going to shoot way up. That's why I think tomorrow's best trade in the morning is to buy gold. The dollar's going to go down. Stocks are going to go up. Commodities are going to go up. And I'm not sure what's going to happen with bonds, how the bonds are going to perceive it. I mean, bonds will probably rally. But then bonds might look at that as, you're not being tough on inflation or something. Right now, like the bond market to me is just like, it's kind of wacky in a sense. And, not to use like a silly term like that. The other thing I want to say, the final thing I want to say is that all of a sudden, people are saying, oh, this whole banking thing is not systemic. Well, guess who told you that? Yours truly told you that already. So I don't know, you guys, you follow this channel, you're taking all this information from me. Go to my website, sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader. If you got a problem paying for that fee, send me an email at mnorman@pitbulleconomics.com and I'll work something out for you. I want everybody to be a part of it. I'll see you tomorrow. It's going to be a fun day, I'll tell you that.